ライオン神エスカノール様だ。震えるさ。
Hello folks, ladies and gentlemen, this is Critic Alex with the news for 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. But first, did you know Green Gil Thunder's passive only works in PvP? And Escanor, when full on alt gauge, cannot receive any buffs. That plus more at 11. Hey guys, what's up? So we've got we've got maintenance notice, not quite patch notes. We've got maintenance notice for an upcoming update for 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. And it's actually a pretty large update. So I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to give you as many tips ahead of time as I can, because this one is a doozy. Now, for those of you wondering when the patch is going to drop, when the game is going to maintenance, it's going into maintenance approximately like 17 or 18 hours after this video drops. Maybe, yeah, somewhere around there. It goes out, it's going to go out at just after midnight on June 9th, which is, you know, June 8th, very late at night. So let's take a look at the patch notes here. Well, let's take a look at the maintenance notice here and talk about it. So we are getting the part 2 of the 100-day celebration, yippity-doo. We are getting the Training Grotto, aka Training Cave, aka Shadowland, for those of you that play Marvel Future Fight. And then we are also going to be getting new items that can drop in the game via the Training Grotto, which are engraving stones, which we'll talk about what that means, and hammers of Vizel, also just known as hammers. We're going to get equipment engraving, which is UR gear. There's actually another level of gear beyond SSR. I know, it's scary. And then the diamond buy one, get one purchase limit reset for the whales is going to be reset. So we'll talk about the 100-day celebration in a little bit. But first, I just want to talk about really quickly what that means. The training cave, the training grotto, the hammers, and UR gear. Those are 3 really important things that are all tied together. Now, I said that the training cave, or the training grotto, is like Shadowland, and it is. It's right over here, training grotto. So this is going to be available in less than 24 hours, or in about 24 hours. And essentially what it is a series of 12 bosses that you can fight one after another. And after you beat one, you unlock the next one. And you can bring a maximum of 4 characters in, but every time you use a character, you can no longer use that character again. So that's why it's like Shadowland. It's a one and done. You don't just come in, you don't just bop every boss with Escanor. And so that is why building lots of characters, building a variety of characters, thank you MMT Jot4, but not right now. That's why building a wide variety of characters, even the bad tier characters, is really not, they're not bad, because they will all have their uses for Training Cave. I'll put out a guide later on Training Cave, and I'll put out my first look and my first thoughts. I'll try not to use Escanor with Gil Thunder in Training Cave. But what you need to know for Training Cave is you're going to need a lot of units. You don't necessarily need to bring in 4 units for every single fight, so don't worry if you don't have 48 characters that are maxed out. But gear does not matter. So there's sort of an interesting interplay, because a lot of the stuff, a lot of the rewards that you get in the Training Cave are used for your gear, but you don't use your gear in Training Cave. So it's not really a cyclical thing where the more Training Cave you do, the better you'll get, the stronger you'll get at it. Doing Training Cave will make you better for all of the other content in the game besides gearless PvP, right? It'll make you better for geared PvP and all the other deathmatch stuff, blah, 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 story mode, blah, 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 farming, but not necessarily for Training Cave. If you want to get better for Training Cave, get more characters, awaken them to 6 stars, and get them to, you know, level 65, 70, 75, 80, limit break them, and then get cosmetics. Those are the only things. I think cosmetics work in Training Cave. I'm not sure about that, but I know for sure gear does not work in Training Cave. That's pretty much all you need to know. Now, what is so important about Training Cave as far as the rewards go? Well, I don't know all of the rewards. I don't think you get Awakening Stones, which is a bummer, but you do get hammers, and hammers are sort of the yin to the anvil's yang. So the first tip I have for you right away: do not use your anvils. Start stockpiling. I mean, you don't have a lot of time, but start stockpiling and stop spending your anvils, because it will become much more apparent why once you see hammers. I guess you don't have to stockpile your anvils, but essentially what hammers do, hammers will improve or keep the same a stat that you've rolled without changing the stat. So that's why hammers are so important, and that's why they go together with anvils. Anvils will change your stat until it's the one that you want, and then hammers have a chance of improving that stat. So let's say instead of attack, this was crit rate. I can change the stat. I can hope to get attack by using anvils. And then if I had attack, but it was obviously a low number, like it's 1.9, I want to make that higher, then I would use hammers. And there'll be a button here for using hammers. And the hammer, when you use it, it will either stay the same, it will either, you know, basically fail to upgrade, where it will just keep the attack at 1.9, or it can upgrade. They can upgrade it to, 2, 2.1, 2.2, whatever. I don't know what the limit is on how much you can upgrade the percentage by, but it doesn't change it. So it's really, really good. So anvils change the stat, hammers improve the stat without changing it. So I would love to have hammers in Marvel Future Fight for comic cards. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. I would love to have anvils for comic cards in Marvel Future Fight to individually change the substats. But yes, hammers and anvils go perfectly well together. So I would say if you were going to use anvils to re-roll substats to try to get higher percentages, now is the time to stop doing that. If you have bad rolls on your SSR gear, you could still use anvils for them. I just wanted to warn you against using anvils now in case you were going to re-roll the percentage to get a higher percent. Now is not the time. Now is the absolute worst time to do that. You shouldn't really be doing that too much anyways, but, if you're a whale, it's a different story. But, yeah, hammers are going to take the place of that from now on. So as long as you have the right stats, you are set to go. The other thing that you're going to get from Training Cave, which we don't have yet, but these are engraving stones, and these are basically purple stones that you're going to take over to Merlin, and she's going to unlock a brand new dialogue here to engrave your SSR gear. Now that basically opens up UR gear, and if you've ever gone over to King and talked to him and gone over here and seen like, what is this hook and claw star shit? This is UR gear stone, awakening stone enhancement gear. So you basically need this, you need one of these for every piece of gear that you want to transform from 5 stars plus 5 to UR. And when you transform the gear to UR, you engrave it with a particular character's engraving. Now, when we get UR gear with this new update with the Training Cave, we're not going to get all characters UR gear, all engravings unlocked. Some people are speculating it's just going to be a couple of characters, like maybe just Meliodas and someone else. I don't know what they got on JP. But basically how it works is you take a gear that is fully SSR awakened, like fully maxed out on the gear. I just need to find a piece of gear that is like that. And then it doesn't matter what the stats are. It just needs to be 5 stars plus 5. And then you'll be able to take it to Merlin, and you'll be able to use the 10 purple stones, the engraving stones, and you'll be able to use one of those 6-star awakening stones, which is equal to 6 5-star awakening stones. Yeah, those rare things that we need more of, I know. And you'll be able to transform it into UR gear for a specific character. Now, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, but from what I understand, once the gear is UR and it's engraved for a particular character like Gowther or Merlin, you cannot use that gear as UR gear for other characters. If you equip UR gear on a character that it's not engraved for, it will just be SSR gear. UR gear has additional stat bonuses. Those stat bonuses will not be applied if it's equipped on a different character. That's how I understand it. And then when it is equipped on the right characters, let's say I engrave Escanor gear, Escanor UR gear, when it's equipped on Escanor green or red, because I believe they do share gear. I might be wrong about that. But if they share gear, then I can use it on both of them. And then if I use that UR engraved Escanor gear on Valenti, it'll just be SSR gear. It won't be UR gear. So I believe the 3 Merlins will be able to share gear and so on and so forth. So I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe blue and red Demon Melly will could share engraved UR gear if you have Demon Melly UR engraving, and then the Captain Melly, etc. Those kinds of things. So that is what we can expect coming soon. And so as well, if you were going to use your 5-star awakening stones, these bad boys, maybe you want to hold on to them. I obviously don't have many right now, so at most right now I could UR one piece of gear. Now, how do I feel about UR gear? I have kind of mixed feelings. I like new content and I like them to push the envelope and give us more things to do in this game, especially because I'm a spending player, and so I get through the content a lot faster than free-to-play players do. But at the same time, it does feel a little bit too fast. Now, some players will think it's too fast, some people will think it's fine, but I do think the pace of Global is pretty nuts, given the fact that the game is what, 3 months now? March, April, May, yeah, like just over 3 months old, and we're already getting UR gear. It seems like if you are a heavy spender in this game, you are continuously pushed to spend heavy because, like, for example, right, I can UR one piece of gear. UR gear obviously doesn't have that many applications. There isn't currently much content that requires you to have even full SSR gear. You can complete every single piece of content in the game with SSR gear left side and rare gear or even common gear on the right side, right? You do not need full SSR gear for any content besides geared PvP at a high level, at challenger level, or maybe champion level as well. However, you know, for those of us that are in champion or challenger, or for those of us that were wanting to get there very soon, it seems like you're gonna have to pony up because, you know, it's a pretty big stat bump. I don't know exactly how much it is, but imagine, you know, people that were already ahead of you with full SSR gear, they'll be able to put on a few sets of full UR gear, depending on how many characters get the engravings. Obviously that depends. If it's just like one character and it's not even a character that's used in PvP, like, you know, if they just give engraving to Twiggo. Okay, if they just give engravings to Twiggo, then we're all screwed. We're all dead. I mean, he's gonna obviously run over everyone in PvP, but it depends on how many characters. We'll see. Depending on how many characters get their engraving on day one, we'll have a better indication of just how hard they're trying to milk players. If Escanor gets his engraving on day one, brace your assholes, brace your wallets, because it's going to be an absolute nightmare for a geared PvP. Gearless PvP, different story. But yeah. So I've kind of mixed feelings about it, but I want to see how it plays out, and I want to see how many characters get it. If it's just like crappy characters right now, like the regular Melee, who's not really getting any play in PvP, it would be quite interesting to see like Green Melee make a comeback in geared PvP with UR gear, now that he has like extra stats and he can get his HP even beefier. Like, you can raise your HP like, you know, 130, 140,000 with UR gear. It's pretty bonkers how high you can go. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm interested. I'm a little bit nervous. I will say that as a sort of dolphinish whale, I am a little bit nervous, and I can understand how other players are nervous. But like I said, none of the content in the game necessitates or requires full SSR gear besides PvP, geared PvP. So if you're not one of those players anyways, you don't have to sweat this. You can just look at Training Cave as a new piece of content to test out your roster and build. And then whatever items, whatever resources you get from Training Cave, just save them up. And then when you're ready in the future, whether that's a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, you can start possibly engraving your gear or whatever. For whales, blang blang, cash money, we're gonna have to start ponying up big time. And I can imagine they're gonna put in sales in the shop, you know, bundles in the shop for engraving stones, purple engraving stones, or the new awake, because we have these ones, right? So they're probably gonna have one with the new 6-star awakening. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just force you to buy these and convert them, because this deal right here is worth 3. So you can so if you want to UR one character, it's $60 if you don't have any of these, and that's assuming you have full 5-star SSR gear for that character in the first place. So it's a bit crazy. And I think once you engrave gear as well, you can't re-engrave it for another character. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's the case. So eventually you're gonna have to make more and more full SSR sets if you want to have engraved gear for multiple sins. Like if you want UR gear for Merlin, UR gear for Escanor, UR gear for this character, that character, it'll then just multiply the number of full SSR sets that you'll have to make in the first place. So that's that. Now we are also losing all of the step-up banners and things like that. But if we go back to the post, it doesn't mention anything about any new characters. But we know Netmarble Fun. We know they love fun and they love money. And if you take a look at the banners that are currently in the game, well, this banner is not done yet because this is the 100-day banner and we're still getting tickets, right? So we knew this one was gonna stay here. But I doubt this is going to be the only one up because they're not really let's be honest, they're not making money on this. This banner is gone after the maintenance, and this banner is gone after the maintenance. These banners are their money makers. So a lot of people, rightfully so, for different reasons, leaks and stuff like that, are speculating Blue Lilia is coming. So pretty much every week in 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, I'm telling you, someone else is telling you, you got to save up diamonds. You know, so another banner is coming, another step up is coming. But if you skipped Valenti or if you didn't go hard on Valenti, now is the time to spend your diamonds. If it is Blue Lilia, Blue Lilia is very good for PvP, for farming. And she is sort of the yin to Blue Demon Melee's yang, and to a lesser extent Hauser, because she gives them pierce rate based on her passive. And it should be a step-up banner like all of the other OC characters like Green Lilia, her other attribute character type. And Valenti. So it'll be interesting to see that if she does in fact come. I'm guessing we're going to get one character, whether it's going to be small green Dion, Matrona Dion, or whether it's going to be Blue Lilia. We got it, or Monspeet maybe. We do need a character here because they're not gonna fly with just the default banner and this. They want our money real bad. Meanwhile, I'm gonna spend this here, see what we get. I have not pulled in a video in a while, and I feel like my luck is terrible because of it. So let's see here what we get. No lasers, no eye flash. Sad days. Okay, we pulled Blue Merlin a few days ago from the free pulls. Oh, okay, we got the coin. Cool, so we're done. Yeah, I bought the pack for, I believe it's $30 with 3 tickets and a bunch of other stuff, just because I was trying to see if I could get Blue Merlin a little bit earlier. I don't think it's a good deal, but I did get it just to sort of get ahead on some things. Oh, these reset, eh? That's interesting. And then we're gonna do, I have 1 SSR ticket, 1 GSSR. Let's do this one as well. And then we'll just briefly go over the second part of the 100-day event, because that is also new content that's coming. So hopefully we get Red Merlin or Red Nunchuck Bond here. We get Green Melly. Okay, this is foreshadowing. This is foreshadowing the UR gear. So the other thing is the 100-day celebration part 2. Now they didn't post like super detailed information about it, but they did give us a preview. So we're gonna be getting the 100-day special White Wave cheering uniform set. So those cosmetics for the 6 Sins plus Elizabeth. We're also going to be getting tavern furniture that you can now actually purchase, I believe, for 10 diamonds each. And then you can get different effects. They will provide tavern effects. So things like, the deathmatch stuff, increased raid and stuff like that. We'll see what the effects are, and we'll see if they're actually good. You'll also be able to get the Starry Dress of 100 Knights, which is now in the game that you can see here that she's wearing. It looks quite nice. You'll be able to actually wear that in-game for your red Hostess Liz, I believe, and green Princess Liz. Yeah, so Tavern Hostess and Princess Liz. And then we're going to be having a new bingo event, and there's probably going to be other things. Like I said, there's probably going to be a banner character as well added, and we'll see what else they bring to us. So it'll be exciting to see what's coming. So the game is moving at a very fast, breakneck pace. I know it's exhausting for some players. I know for other players it causes burnout. I know for other players they're super hype. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm definitely not burnt out on the game at all, but I do worry and sort of wonder a little bit if they can keep this pace up, because we'll definitely catch up to JP at this pace. I kind of want to catch up to JP personally, but I wonder what it would do to the player base if we have to go at that pace to catch up, just to catch up, right? Is it worth it, essentially, is what I'm saying. I don't know. That's up to you to answer. Personally, if I was free to play in this game, would I feel overwhelmed? Yes and no. Like I said, you can sort of, logically discuss it in your head. You don't need UR gear. You don't need to rush through this content. You can obviously play at your own pace. I think as long as you're still having fun, it doesn't really matter. And of course, it's great that there's more content because other games get updated once a month or less. So it's amazing that this game gets weekly updates. So that's something that I would never, ever complain about. So let me know what you think about Training Cave, UR gear, and everything else. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.